Let us begin, not with theory, but with something more familiar, a story. Imagine a small workplace. Nothing dramatic, nothing historic, just ordinary life. Two colleagues, same qualifications, same responsibilities. One begins to notice a pattern, opportunities subtly redirected, credit inconsistently assigned, perception quietly shaped. Nothing blatant enough to provoke immediate confrontation, but persistent enough to generate unease. Over time, tension emerges, not only between individuals, but within the entire environment. Whispers, interpretations, and misalignments become reality. Eventually, the narrative crystallizes. It's personal, it's cultural, it's about personality. Yet beneath the visible conflict, another process quietly unfolds. Resources flow, influence consolidates, advantage stabilizes, and those involved rarely recognize the deeper structure at play. Now scale the story, from workplace to society, from individuals to populations, from subtle tensions to inherited divisions. In previous explorations, we proposed a challenging idea that racism, beyond its emotional and historical dimensions, can also function as a diversionary structure, a mechanism through which attention is captured. While extraction proceeds with minimal resistance, not merely wealth extraction in the financial sense, but extraction of opportunity, resource, agency, stability, dignity, cultural, spiritual, and psychological energy. This perspective does not deny suffering, nor does it reduce racism to abstraction. Rather, it asks a structural question. What function does division serve within systems of power and control? Elitism, by definition, requires hierarchy. Hierarchy requires justification. Justification requires narrative. And narratives require emotional anchoring. To maintain concentrated power and wealth across generations, systems must achieve something extraordinarily complex. They must normalize inequality. They must stabilize asymmetry. They must render extraction invisible, acceptable, or inevitable. Here, psychology offers a revealing parallel. Within narcissistic dynamics, control is rarely maintained through overt force alone. It is maintained through relational architecture, a triangulation model. There is the extractor or the central organizing force. There are the enforcers or the mouthpieces, the defenders, the legitimizers. And there is the target or the one whose reality becomes destabilized at different levels. In interpersonal psychology, this pattern appears in many forms: manipulation, coercive control, and a particularly telling strategy known as DARVO: deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. When confronted, the manipulative structure does not resolve tension. It redirects it. Confusion replaces clarity. Defense replaces accountability. Instability replaces resolution. Now observe how similar principles can appear at systemic scale. For large-scale extraction to operate with continuity, resistance must be fragmented. Collective coherence must be disrupted. Perception must be shaped. Identity must be destabilized. Division becomes not incidental, but functional. Racism, within this lens, becomes more than prejudice, more than ignorance. It becomes part of a larger architecture of differentiation, a system of superiority and inferiority dynamics designed to stabilize hierarchy. Because hierarchy requires psychological consent, and psychological consent requires identity conditioning. But beneath social structures lies something even more fundamental. That thing is energy. In the Energy Junkie's book, an idea is explored that reframes human interaction through regulation dynamics. Not morality, not ideology, but regulation. Individuals vary dramatically in their capacity for internal regulation. Some possess relatively stable emotional grounding. Others operate from persistent survival activation. Fear, scarcity, threat perception, hypervigilance. Those with lower regulation coefficients often experience reality through instability. Their nervous systems seek relief, stimulation, discharge. Their perception becomes more reactive, less reflective, and this creates a powerful relational dynamic. Because dysregulated systems seek regulation externally, attention becomes currency, reaction becomes fuel, conflict becomes stimulation. In spiritual language, this dynamic has long been described metaphorically as energy vampirism, not as mysticism, but as an experiential pattern that is also deeply emotional. Some interactions drain, others stabilize. Some environments exhaust, while others nourish. When applied to systems, the metaphor becomes striking. Extraction is rarely limited to material resources. It also involves psychological and emotional energy. Fear sustains attention, conflict sustains engagement, instability sustains dependency. A perpetually reactive population is easier to influence. A divided population is easier to manage. A dysregulated social field stabilizes centralized control, which brings us back to racism. For a global extraction system to operate with durability, multiple layers of differentiation must exist. Not a single hierarchy, but many. Race, class, nationality, ideology, status, access, belonging. Each becomes a node of control. Each becomes a psychological sorting mechanism. Each stabilizes comparative identity. Because comparative identity sustains competition. Competition sustains insecurity. Insecurity sustains manipulability. Superiority and inferiority dynamics are not accidents of history alone. They are also functional stabilizers of asymmetrical systems. But here emerges a crucial clarification. Recognizing structural dynamics is not equivalent to condemning individuals. We are not suggesting that wealth itself is evidence of guilt, nor that success implies manipulation. Human reality is far more nuanced. Rather, we are observing patterns, architectures, and stabilization mechanisms. Systems do not require universal malicious intent to produce extractive outcomes. They require only reinforcing structures, conditioned behaviors, normalized asymmetries, and once established, such systems acquire inertia. They self-perpetuate. Identity becomes investment, belonging becomes defense, narratives become psychological anchors. People defend structures not always because they benefit from them materially, but because identity itself becomes entangled with the system. This is why divisions persist even when they generate collective harm. Because fragmentation stabilizes certain forms of order, even when that order is unequal, hence why destabilizing class systems tend to prevail. All that said, beneath this complexity lies a transformative insight. What is constructed can be examined, what is conditioned can be questioned, what is normalized can be reinterpreted. If division can be engineered, coherence can be cultivated. If identity can be manipulated, identity can be stabilized internally. If fear can regulate systems, clarity can reorganize them. Racism, then, within this structural and psycho-spiritual lens, reveals a deeper tragedy, not only moral, but functional. It is not merely that humans divide, it is that division can become infrastructure. Yet infrastructure can evolve, architectures can shift, regulation can be reclaimed internally rather than externally imposed through tension. And here lies the quietly hopeful conclusion. Awareness destabilizes unconscious structures. Clarity reduces manipulability. Inner coherence weakens dependency on divisive identity scaffolding. Because when individuals stabilize internally, external fragmentation loses its regulatory grip. When perception clarifies, diversions weaken. When identity grounds itself beyond comparative hierarchies, entire dynamics begin to soften, not through force, not through denial, but through coherence. And perhaps this is the deeper invitation, not merely to debate racism, but to understand the architectures that sustain it.